Alright, so I'm going to be showing you today how to set up the Ansible server and connect it to client machines so that you can actually use Ansible to perform actions on those client machines. Okay, so Ansible is basically a tool that you can use to manage multiple computers from one single computer. Okay, so I have this server. This is a server, and the colored ones are the client machines that I want to manage with Ansible. Okay, so in order to manage Ansible, you have to create a dedicated account for Ansible in each of those machines, including the server. So this is the server. You can see the Ansible account right there. And if you go to each of those client machines and type this command, you will have the same result. So each of those client machines also have an Ansible account. And also, in addition to having the Ansible account, I have added the Ansible account in the client machines in the sudo was file. Okay, so that they can execute all commands without needing to type in a password. Okay, so that is critical, because you cannot go typing in passwords for, if you are managing maybe 500 or 1,000 servers, you cannot go around each of them typing a password. Okay, so I have also configured my repositories. This is actually Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 version. So this is a client machine. So I have my repositories configured, my local repositories, and I've also added the EPL repository that is needed to install the Ansible package. Okay, so I will go ahead right now and install Ansible. Okay. Alright, so the installation is complete. Okay, so the next thing to do is to basically provide, since we have we don't want to have to type a password in order to log into each of those client machines and perform commands. We need to provide another means to authenticate when our computer tries to log into them and do stuff. So I will now copy the key to each of my servers that I want to manage with Ansible. So I'll copy the keys. The key is like an ID though. So I will copy the keys into the Ansible account in each of those servers. 92.168.0.120. I will say yes. Password for that server, not for the remote server. And that has been done. You can see the confirmation here. Number of keys added, 1. So I will just record the same command and change the IP to the other server, and we are using the same account. So I will do the same thing the key has also been added. Okay, so the next thing is for us to go into the Ansible folder. In order to do that, I think it's better that we use the root account to do that. So I will cd into etc Ansible, list the contents. So the ansible.cfg file is where all the settings, all the configurations that define how Ansible is going to behave are stored in this file. So we will just go with the default settings that are there, but however we need to put our host in this host file. So with this Ansible, okay, so I will do a square bracket and give my group of servers a name and add 192.168.0.120. That's the IP address of my first remote machine. You can also do fully qualified domain names if you have DNS configured in your network. And then I will put in the IP address of 0.121 and save and quit. So my host file has been configured, and that's pretty much it. So now if I want to run a command in the remote servers, I can just do Ansible, and then I can mention the name of the group of servers that I want to do this action. And then which module you want to use, you want to ping. Voila, so that was a positive response. Both of our servers are responding very correctly. Okay, so this is not a typical, well, sometimes you can just quickly run commands like this in Ansible. If you have 500 servers, if you have 30 or any number of servers, you can add all of them in that host file, and you can use Ansible to send commands to those servers from your host, from your Ansible server, and you will get a lot done within a short amount of time. So Ansible is really powerful when it comes to that. However, the most effective way to use Ansible is to use something that we call a playbook. So if I list the content of my home directory, I actually have a user at.yaml file. So playbooks are written in a language called YAML. That's why they have a .yaml extension. So in order to, let's first of all see what is inside that playbook. Okay, so this is a playbook. Playbooks typically start with 3 dashes, and then the name just describes what you want to do. So what this playbook is doing is adding a user to those computers. And what are the computers that it is going to add on? It is going to add on a group of computers that we call Red Hat. And then this is it becoming the Ansible user becoming the root user. That's like invoking sudo privilege. And then this is the actual action taking place. Add a user with name J Maddies, the full name James Maddies, password is that, and then the next task that we want to do is to expire his initial password so that he is prompted for a new password when he logs in for the first time. So this the shell module will then execute and delete his password. Okay, so let's go and run this playbook. So the way to run a playbook is is Ansible dash playbook. Okay, just say Ansible dash playbook and then mention the name of the playbook. So user add dot YAML. Okay, and you can, once you get something like this, you know that your server has contacted the client's machines, and the first thing it does is it gathers facts about the machine to make sure that they're up and running. And you can turn this off in the configuration file, the ansible.cog file that we saw before. And then it goes ahead and creates the user. You can see here change. Something has changed in this server, something has changed in this other server. So that is the first task that has been executed. And then the second task that has been executed is to delete the password of the user in the first server and in the second server. So you can see here that 3 things are okay and 2 things were actually changed. So we have 3 tasks that are okay because this was just a check. That's the first task. Creating a user account is the second task. Deleting the password is the next task. So that is 3 tasks. So, but changes actually happened only in 2 of those tasks. Okay, so if I go to the servers, the client machines now, if I tell the password file, the account has been created. We did not have to physically come to this server to create this account. Without Ansible, if we wanted this account in all the machines, we would have had to go into each of those machines and create the accounts there. However, thanks to Ansible, we are able to create that account in all our servers at once. So we have the same account in the other server. Alright, so that's it for Ansible. Thank you for watching and stay blessed.